It doesn't matter if you have nothing to hide, because privacy isn't about something to hide. Privacy is about something to protect. And the thing to protect is a free and open society. Edward Snowden. Hey, it's Anita, and this is the Anita Posh Show. Hello everybody, welcome to Last Week in Bitcoin. Keep calm and carry on. Bitcoin has been taking a deep breath these days after the news and price declines in the last weeks. As soon as the price plunged, media requests from Austrian and German press in my mailbox declined as well. Thank you, Bitcoin. It's time to concentrate on building. There may be major privacy increases in Bitcoin coming soon. Only a few people really understand what Taproot means and how important this update to the Bitcoin core software is. This soft fork might be locked in a few weeks. The miner signals are looking very promising. Still, 1,815 blocks within a period of 14 days, these are 90% of all blocks, have to signal for Taproot. And if they do, Taproot will be automatically activated in November. There's no turning back. The decision cannot be changed afterwards. The next signaling period starts tomorrow. Taproot brings three big changes. It improves scalability, privacy, and sets up foundational scaffolding for future improvements. With Taproot, all types of Bitcoin transactions will look the same. Cashing out from the Lightning Network, for instance, will look like a simple transaction between two parties, although there might be thousands of payments included in one Lightning channel. Taproot can hide complex scripts and show only the branch of the script that has been executed. This makes Bitcoin transactions cheaper because they need less data space and therefore you pay less fees. And it makes them more efficient for everyone. Taproot introduces new address types starting with BC1P. The whole implementation process will take some years until all wallets support the new address format. It's a very important step for Bitcoin because it strengthens core properties like privacy, neutrality, and open access. Even more, Taproot makes it more difficult for regulators to intervene, which secures the financial inclusion of billions of people without IDs, status, or wealth. Is Bitcoin mining banned in China? Over the past few weeks, we heard a lot of news coming from China about another Bitcoin ban. Miners have gone offline, and it was reported that the Chinese State Council was cracking down on mining. We see these stories and possible changes in regulation all the time on a regular basis, which you can also see in the headline from the magazine Wired in 2013. China bans banks from doing business in Bitcoin. So most of the times it was business as usual afterwards. But this time it really might be different. This is good news because Bitcoin miners will move their mining rigs from China to other countries which have a greener mix of electricity sources. While China is producing the same amount of electricity with renewables like the world on average does, their share of coal is higher, as we can see from Freyer-Haas research. 30% of all Bitcoin are mined with electricity from coal, while China's electricity mix shows 60% from coal. Now, the first miners are being relocated from China to Central Asia, Russia, the Middle East, and to a lesser extent also to North America, as Edward Evenson, business developer at /Pool, one of the biggest pools in Bitcoin mining, is reporting. Overall, please don't forget, Bitcoin mining is in total 3 times as renewable as the world primary energy supply. 39% of the energy used for mining Bitcoin comes from renewable sources, while only 11.4% of the world's global energy comes from renewable sources. So solar power is basically good, but it's bad when it's used for Bitcoin. Sounds weird? It is weird. I mean, you can't make this up, and it shows the absurdity of the discussions around Bitcoin mining. The magazine The Verge is running a story about a new solar power plant in the US, which is incentivized by cryptocurrency mining, while the magazine at the same time is bashing the project because it will be used for mining. And in the subtitle it says, "The project also promises green electricity for the rest of the community." So the article is basically saying, solar power is bad when it's used for Bitcoin. This doesn't impress Bitcoin long-term believers and hodlers. They have been buying Bitcoin since the price has been plunging in April. The Bitcoin network is healthy. Don't let yourself get distracted from media headlines. Also, the Lightning Network has grown. In the last 3 years, the number of Lightning Network nodes has grown from 250 to 9,500 nodes all around the world with 41,000 channels. That's an increase of 3,700%. So the Bitcoin network is not only growing, it also enables new art forms. This week's interview guest is Rare Skrilla. He's a Bitcoin music pioneer who did his first NFTs as early as 2014 on the Counterparty platform. We're talking about why he's focusing on Bitcoin and new evolving art forms.
I have an async music piece dropping next week that, by buying the NFTs, you're able to use, you're able to basically construct the song, whoever owns the layers, and control the output of it, which, all this type of stuff is just like fun stuff that you could do with crypto and blockchain. I'm a Bitcoiner first, and I think I hang my hat on like Bitcoin art, but I totally am into exploring all the chains that are doing stuff. I think scarcity is cool because everybody's custom making their stuff. Like it's like hands-on. Like the more like dirty and like hands-on you are, like more proof of work, so to speak, the better the scarcity projects do. It really like speaks. You could tell it's Bitcoin, like the way that things have gone so far.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Last Week in Bitcoin. I hope you're back next week when it's time again for the Anita Posch Show. If you like it, subscribe to my podcast feed. You can find it in every podcast player. Just search for Anita Posch and hit the subscribe button. If you want to donate to my work, please send some sats over the QR code that you find on the episode page. If you're a sponsor and you want to sponsor my show, please drop me a line at hello@anitaposch.com. Have a great weekend and see you next week when it's time for Last Week in Bitcoin.